It is Friday, April 25th, and since I'm a Canadian, I wanted to do a prediction reading on the election coming up for Prime Minister. It's coming up on Monday. So what I'm asking my oracle cards this morning is who is going to win? I'm going to do a reading on Mark Carney. Oh, there's the luck card. On Mark Carney. And then I'm going to do a reading on Pierre Poilievre. I am biased, that's for sure. There's the luck card popping up again. I am biased, that's for sure. I am a supporter of Mark Carney. I believe he will be a good leader. And it doesn't mean that I am always liberal. So, that being said, let's just see what the cards say. Take my ego out of it and let's see what the cards say. Will Mark Carney win the Canadian election and become the next Prime Minister? There's news coming out about that. The first card that I laid out is the bouquet, and that is definitely a good sign. The next card is the intuition card. So what is my intuition telling me? What I'm doing within this large grand tableau reading of 36 cards is looking for Mark Carney. In the next reading that I do, it will represent the other leader, Pierre Poilievre. So, but for this reading, I'm looking at the man as Mark Carney, and I'm looking at the portrait around him. So it's a 9-card spread that I'm looking at within this large grand tableau. So it's really interesting because all of the cards around him, maybe except for this card, are very positive, showing me that he will become leader. That's my prediction here, that Mark Carney will become the leader and the Prime Minister for Canada. So I'll talk about these cards a little bit here. So this would represent, the tree would represent growth, and it's on the child house. So he has been, everything that he's done in life has led him to this point. Since he was a child, I know that he grew up in Canada, of course, and everything has brought him to this point. The cross above his head, I've never heard anything about Mark Carney, about his religious beliefs, if he has them, or if he is spiritual, but this could represent that he is a spiritual man. That has never come up, at least in any of the news articles that I've seen. But this could definitely represent the crown. As Canadians, we are part of the Commonwealth with the royal family, that's for sure, and that could definitely represent the crown. He has also worked for England before as the head of the bank, and that will definitely show that he is smart and up to the job as far as the economy goes. On the bear house, which is the leadership house, is news, and this is a letter, a formal letter that is going to be sent from the crown, or vice versa. It will be sent to the crown to legitimize the winning of the election. I'm kind of popping out of this little portrait here, but that's moving forward, and it's on the stars card. So this is kind of personal because I'm up here wanting Mark Carney to win, and this is showing shoot for the stars, my dreams will come true. Honestly, not that I dream about Mark Carney winning the election, that's for sure, but it is important to me. Now jumping back to the portrait here, there is this commitment here. and Mark Carney is fully committed to doing the job. It's on the Mouse House, so I know this has been difficult on him. He doesn't sort of let that be known, but inside it's been gnawing away at him. And there's no doubt anybody running for such a high position would have some anxiety, and that's where this is right here. This is on the Mountain House, and this Birds card can represent a lot of anxiety, a lot of chatter, a lot of there's so much riding on this election, and it was never expected that the Liberals could win ever again, because of they've this would be their fourth time leading the country, and usually there is a change. There needs to be a change. There needs to be a balance, sort of reset. I'm a Libra, and I'm okay with the switch of governments usually happening from conservative to liberal, or NDP to liberal, that kind of thing. So I do see that, our country definitely needs to be more centered rather than total right or total left, and that's why we needed a change. And Mark Carney has had these very, stressful times to actually get to this point. This has a lot to do with why this election is happening the way it is. If we take a look at this line right here, the thing that set us on this new path is the anxiety that has been happening just in the recent past. It's very recent. You'll see this is on the stork. This is that mouse here that I talked about. The mouse card is something that's gnawing away and basically at the country. Here is the snake card, and this is very toxic. This is representing Donald Trump here, and the threats to our government. This represents government, the Tower card. The Tower card is on the Tower House. In this reading, and I'm sure in the next reading, this also will represent government, but the tower is on the tower, so this is very important. It is a very legitimate threat on our government. This, if the right person doesn't win, we could definitely be going to a different path. But it looks as if the path that's been, kind of a very hard path to come over. It's on the mountain card. We've had mountains to climb to get to this point in a really short amount of time for people to trust in and get to know Mark Carney, and that seems to be happening. So I'm just going to take a look at this bottom line here too that we haven't looked at yet. But the bear card is on is representing a leadership role. That's the manager card, if you will, when I'm reading someone on their job, basically. So it's also a leader card, and we do need someone with this energy, with this protective energy. I know for Canada, our symbol is the beaver, but the bear is also very important and very protective. So he would be the person, that animal energy, to be able to stand up to Donald Trump, even though he's fairly short in stature, or is he? It doesn't really matter. But you'll see he has this larger than life energy. It seems like a very quiet but powerful person. So the next card here is, well, I could take this a few different ways. This sometimes to me is a ledger book, and it's on the Lily's house, which is experience. He has a lot of experience. This is him with his economy. This is him with his plan, which just came out. This could also represent the new government forming, and his government, Mark Carney's government. This book would have all of his plans in here. Now, finally, his card in this portrait reading is the sun. And take a look at that. The sun is on the sun house. So that means, kind of doubly important, if you will. It's doubly effective. It is very positive. The sun is the brightest card you can get in this Lenormand deck. And here it is. It's a very sunny thing. I know that when Trudeau won, I think the last time or the time before, he said, "Sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways." And not that I'm a big Trudeau supporter, but that is sort of continuing that part of the government on. Doesn't mean that Mark Carney is going to continue with Trudeau's government. I believe it's going to be quite different. In fact, his house will be quite different. That's for sure. And we're going to see this new sunny ways, but that would still be a good thing to say, sunny ways, my friends. So I'm just going to take a look at this fate line here. And here's just another sort of confirmation of what's going to be happening. The luck sign that sort of fell out a couple of times when I was shuffling, it's in the fate line, and I wanted to show you, look at this, luck key. It's on the key house. So lucky. So that's a lucky thing. There's another sign pointing that he will be winning this election. And above here is that stars card on the letter house. So the news is coming, shoot for the stars. That's me personally. And there's this lucky sign here. There's this newness here too on the man card. So he is a new person to politics, if you will. And that just seems like, this new path of this new man taking on. And this fish is on the fish house. So here's another double luck card, if you will, pointing towards Mark Carney winning. The fish represents wealth. So that means that he is the best person to move our country forward economically. And I think a lot of us do know that. And, a lot of people have changed their minds to Mark Carney just for this reason. So I do believe he's the one to move our country forward. It's like the clouds will be dissipating under his leadership. The cloud card is on the anchor house, and here's the anchor here. So, this anchor is in the crossroads or the cross house, and here is Mark Carney on the crossroads house. So these two also show that he will be a very good anchor for our country. He will keep us stable through these tumultuous times with the U.S. And that is definitely, let's say, in the cards. So literally. Okay, so it feels like the clouds will be dissipating. People may still have lots of reservations, almost half of the country perhaps. If depending on how divided we are, I do believe he will win a majority. These cards are just too bright and sunny to think otherwise. But it's going to take some while for people to have these clouds dissipate. But I feel like, it won't take too long. Okay, so it really looks like Mark Carney is going to be winning, starting off with this beautiful bouquet. It will feel like a gift, at least to me. I know for some of you, this is not what you wanted to hear, but this is, good news in my books. And so I'm just about to do another reading. I'm going to reshuffle these cards. I'm going to make sure that I clear them first with my crystal. And then I will do another short meditation before I reshuffle and read for Pierre Poilievre's outlook. Okay, so I'm reshuffling the cards and I'm going to do a reading on Pierre Poilievre. Will Pierre Poilievre win the election and become Prime Minister? Will Pierre Poilievre win the election and become prime minister. The first three cards that I've laid out definitely seem like there will be difficulties with this. The rider on the rider house moving forward, that could be taken either way, but what is he moving forward to? Something that's very hard. This is on the whip is on the clover house, and the that would represent difficulties with luck in winning the election. The same thing with the mountains. It's like he'd have a lot of mountains to climb to move forward. That's just my initial look. The next thing, of course, I'm going to do is look at the man. So I've already let you know my feelings on who I want to win, and I want Mark Carney to win. That's no secret. I'm totally open about that. So I have to mention, though, that in reading for myself, usually it's very hard because I look for things that I want, right? It's very normal for us to do that. And so I know this isn't a reading for myself, but obviously I have opinions. So I wanted to, take a second here to make sure that I am reading the cards and not working with my ego. Because interesting enough, if I look at Pierre Poilievre here, some of the cards seem good at first glance, but some of them don't. So I'm going to go through the good cards first. Right beside him, and I have to mention he's on the whip house, and because I'm asking about him becoming prime minister right away, and the whip is right here too, so that is showing it would be very hard for him to win. But I'm going to talk about the good cards. So up in the right corner around his portrait here, he has growth in his house. So I think that means that he is going to have some growth within his house, within the Conservatives. They are going to pick up more seats than they expected. So I do want to say that. As with Mark Carney, Pierre Poilievre also has the ring beside him, which is a commitment card. So he's definitely committed to his work in the government. He always has been. And there's the government on his left here. So look at this. There's like the stork, the gift of the stork here. The new stork in the government is on the scythe house. The scythe is right below him as well, and the scythe is on the tower card, which represents government. So these cards are just so interesting when you combine them with this grand tableau, like matte below it. But this scythe can represent a very quick cut. It is a cut to the government, to him moving forward. If I look beside him too, he's very loyal. I have to say he's very loyal at what he does. He totally believes he could do the job, and he would be able to step in and do what he, his agenda, what he wants to do. He would be able to do it. But of course, we'd expect all of the people running for the prime minister job to be able to do the job. So what's interesting here is that luck key card, a combination again. They're showing up here, lucky ended, okay, so cut. So the luck may end quickly and he will have to move on to better things. So what does that mean for him? I think he will be moving on in the same position that he's always had. He's moving forward in his same community. It's on the garden card here. Here's the path card to the garden up here as well. So I do believe he's continuing to move forward in his own government, which is the conservative government. And I wonder if they're going to continue with, they're going to want to continue with him. It seems like it at this point. It doesn't seem like they're going to want to get rid of him. They've gotten rid of the leaders before and found a new leader because they realized that that one leader wasn't good enough and he wasn't going to win. I think they're still going to keep him as the leader. I still think that they're going to trust in him to go forward as the conservative leader. Here is, they're not ready to go with somebody new yet. They're at a crossroads with that. They still feel like they need to keep him there in the house. Okay, so they still will believe in Pierre Poilievre for the moment, at least. I could do another reading in 4 to 6 months, and this may change. But it seems at the moment they're not going to make any big decisions. Another confirmation for me that he will not be becoming prime minister is if I look at the bear card. Remember that leader card from my first reading here? The bear card is a little bit further away from him, although it is still connected to him. You can read these cards like a chess game in some way. You know the horse piece. The horse moves 3 ways. It goes 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I can read it like that. So I'm looking at the leader card. It is still connected to him in one way. So that's why I do feel like he will continue to be the leader of the Conservative Party for the meantime. But there is some cloudiness against this. So number one, I feel like he's not going to be winning the prime minister's role, and it is cloudy there. But he's going to be continuing to work hard at it. There may be a woman in his life who is standing by him as well and working hard for him. Could be his wife. Not quite sure who that would be. I would do a separate reading. This reading is really on him becoming prime minister or not. But interesting, there is a woman involved here. I'd be interested to do a marriage reading for him, actually. Because there could be some signs in here that there may be movement with his marriage. And I'm not quite sure what that means. But again, not looking into that right now. Before I sign off of this reading, I just wanted to let you know that before I did my meditations and did this reading, that I actually thought that Mark Carney would not win and that Pierre Poilievre would pull ahead and actually win. So that is just me personally. Now that I've done this card reading, I am relying on the universe giving me this information to share with you and that it will be correct. So I just wanted to share that with you, that even readers can doubt things or have their own opinions, that's for sure, beforehand. So it's always good to let your ego go and just rely on your spirit guides, your loved ones, and the universe to provide this information for us. So thank you very much. And if you are Canadian, do get out there and vote, because all of our votes do matter. Okay, thank you very much and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.